Her mother harbored a dark secret, a truth she had concealed since Soma's birth. Burdened by shame and regret for years, Soma's mother had kept this painful truth hidden from her daughter. As Soma introduced Mr. Bank to her family as her man friend, Soma's mother gasped in disbelief when she saw the man standing before her and her children, a man from her past whom she had prayed never to encounter again. Her heart raced with a mixture of fear and uncertainty as she struggled to compose herself in front of her startled family. Soma's mother's heart raced in her chest as memories from long ago flooded her mind, a time when she had been young and deeply in love. Soma listened in stunned silence, her mind reeling at the revelation. Her sugar daddy was her biological father. It was a truth she had never expected, one that shook her to the core. In the bustling city of Lagos, where the sun's golden rays danced upon the bustling streets, and where dreams collided with desires, there lived a young woman named Somadina, who preferred to be called Soma. Soma was known not only for her striking beauty, her smooth cocoa-colored skin and eyes that sparkled like polished onyx, but also for her fierce ambition that blazed like wildfire in her heart. Soma's life was a whirlwind of ambition and desire. Soma's childhood was colored by the flow of different men in her mother's life. Ada, Soma's mother, was a woman of striking beauty who had a complicated love life, being involved with many men over the years. Soma had 4 siblings, each with a different father, and she was the eldest among them. She felt the weight of responsibility. She often took care of her younger siblings while her mother worked or dealt with her own struggles. From a young age, Soma understood that her family was unconventional. Their home was modest but filled with laughter and warmth, despite the absence of a consistent male presence. Soma's curiosity about her own father grew as she matured. She had seen glimpses of different men coming and going from their lives. Some stay longer than others, but none staying long enough to be a constant male figure in her upbringing. Soma always dreamed of a life beyond their modest means. From a young age, she dreamed of making a name for herself beyond the crowded stalls and narrow alleys of her neighborhood. Soma remained dedicated to helping her family, hoping to provide a better life for her mother and half-siblings. Her aspirations soared higher than the towers the elite and influential seemed to dwell. Unlike many of her peers who settled for traditional paths, Soma aimed to break barriers. The uncertainties of her childhood fueled a relentless drive to succeed. She excelled in her education and emerged as a formidable force in her chosen field. One day, everything changed when Soma got a job at a prestigious company in Lagos. As a business development officer in the company, she tasted success with every deal closed and every client won over. Her aspirations soaring as high as the city's towering skyscrapers. But beneath her polished exterior lay a hunger for more. A craving fueled by the tantalizing allure of her friends' extravagant lifestyles. Over the years, Soma's life transformed. She gradually made friends with wealthy girls. These friendships introduced her to a world she had only dreamed of before. They took her to fancy restaurants, exclusive events, and luxurious shopping trips. Soma learned a lot from her new friends, not just about wealth, but also about confidence and heightened ambition despite her background. Soma's friends, with their tales of owning properties in the most expensive parts of the city, painted a picture of a world where their desires were effortlessly fulfilled. They whispered secrets of their sugar daddies, those mysterious benefactors who made every wish come true without a moment's hesitation. These stories enchanted Soma, filling her mind with visions of a life far removed from her own. To live like her friends, basking in the glow of luxury without a care in the world, became her aspiration. So, with a hopeful heart, Soma resolved to seek out her own sugar daddy. someone who would sweep her off her feet and into a realm of endless extravagance lifestyle. With each passing day, Soma remained vigilant, ready to seize any opportunity that would turn her dreams into reality. It all began when Soma arrived at a luxurious hotel for a business meeting. At the elegant restaurant, she encountered Mr. Bankorle, a man in his 60s with a magnetic charm. He cast a lingering gaze in Soma's direction, instantly taken by her upon first sight. He found himself intrigued by her presence, feeling a deep and immediate affinity towards Soma. Mr. Bankorle, a distinguished and wealthy businessman, was widely recognized as a prosperous entrepreneur, renowned for his extensive array of businesses spanning various sectors. His impressive portfolio included a multitude of enterprises. Furthermore, he possessed a diverse collection of properties, solidifying his status as a prominent figure in both business and real estate circles. Drawn to Soma's beauty and poise, Mr. Bankorle, a man who spoke little but acted decisively, approached her. He approached Soma and introduced himself as Mr. Banks. She was equally captivated by his wealthy aura. They conversed and flirted for a while, after which Mr. Bank handed Soma his business card and they went their separate ways. Several weeks later, they reunited for a date, during which Mr. Banks straightforwardly expressed a desire for her to be his baby girl for life. He painted a life of luxury beyond her wildest dreams, mesmerized by the allure of designer labels and exotic getaways if she agrees. Soma's heart fluttered with happiness upon hearing this, as she had secretly yearned to find an influential sugar daddy that could provide for her. Soma eagerly looked forward to the possibility of having her own sugar daddy. Soma succumbed to Mr. Banks' seductive charm, her eyes dazzled by the promise of a life she had only ever dreamed of. Unaware of what awaited her, little did she know that this chance encounter would set in motion a chain of events that would rock her world to its core. Mr. Bank gave Soma a life of luxury beyond her wildest dreams. He lavished Soma with gifts fit for a queen, showering her with attention and affection. Mr. Banks spoiled Soma with designer clothes and shoes, and adorned her with jewelry and outfits from renowned designers. Soma found herself wearing the same exclusive brands favored by musicians and actresses across the country, immersing in a world of elegance and style that she had previously only imagined. Soma decided to leave her job as a business development officer in the company because the salary seemed insignificant compared to the financial support she received from her sugar daddy. During weekends, Soma and Mr. Bank embarked on frequent journeys together. Soma accompanied Mr. Bank to his business meetings in various states, making these trips a routine part of their shared experiences. The holidays brought even more adventures as they explored different countries such as America, Maldives and Dubai, among others. For Soma, who had never ventured beyond Nigeria's shores before, this new lifestyle of traveling the globe resulted in her passport becoming adorned with numerous visa stamps from different destinations around the world. With every expensive gift and grand gesture, Soma's determination weakened, exchanging her principles for temporary pleasures of material wealth. In his embrace, she sought solace from the pressures of her everyday life, her desires overpowering the lingering sense of guilt in the depths of her soul. Soma reached a point where she no longer considered dating younger men or feels attracted to younger men. Whenever she was approached by potential suitors, her heart yearned solely for relationships with sugar daddies. This lifestyle had become not just familiar but cherished, offering her a sense of stability and luxury that she believed younger suitors couldn't provide. Soma found comfort and fulfillment in the companionship and generosity of older, affluent men who understood and fulfilled her desires for extravagance and financial security. One day, Mr. Banks surprised Soma with a luxurious Range Rover, He purchased the Range Rover in her favorite color, which happened to be a stunning shade of white. Soma was absolutely thrilled and filled with an overwhelming sense of excitement upon receiving this thoughtful and cherished gift from Mr. Bank. Adding to her joy, as though the Range Rover wasn't already spectacular enough, Soma found herself pleasantly surprised the following month on her birthday when she received a luxurious duplex on the island as a gift. This unexpected gesture left her even more elated and grateful, adding another layer of delight to her already joyous heart. Overwhelmed with pride, Soma felt like her dreams had finally come true. Owning a house and a fancy car had always been her aspirations, and now she reveled in the fulfillment of those long-held desires. Amidst the glittering facade of her newfound wealth, a dark secret lurked in the shadows, threatening to unravel the fragile illusion of happiness she had worked so hard to maintain. Soma generously shared gifts and money from her sugar daddy with her half-siblings and mother. She moved them into her new mansion. Her mother beamed with pride seeing her daughter's success unfold, while her siblings were thankful for their caring older sister. The family enjoyed a newfound sense of financial security and comfort in their lavish surroundings, thanks to Soma's generosity and the support she received from Mr. Bank. Although Soma's mother and siblings were aware of Soma's financial benefactor and the source of her money, they didn't mind as long as it brought more financial security to the family. Soma's friends, whom she once admired before entering into a relationship with her sugar daddy, now felt envious of her. They saw that her benefactor was wealthier and more affluent than their own sugar daddies. They had never witnessed Soma's lavish lifestyle before. Meanwhile, Soma herself felt a sense of pride and accomplishment. She believed she had surpassed her friends in wealth and success. This newfound status made her confident and empowered, knowing she had achieved a level of prosperity that set her apart from those she once looked up to and admired. Her social media accounts became a platform where she eagerly shared glimpses of her upgraded, luxurious lifestyle, showcasing extravagant holidays, designer bags, and shoes to her followers and acquaintances alike. Little did Soma know, her mother harbored a dark secret, a truth she had concealed since Soma's birth. Burdened by shame and regret for years, Soma's mother had kept this painful truth hidden from her daughter. As Soma enjoyed the luxury of her new life, unaware of the truth lurking beneath the surface, her mother's past came back to haunt them both, impacting Soma's future in unexpected ways. For years, Soma had believed her father to be dead, a victim of circumstance lost to the passage of time. But the truth was far more scandalous than Soma could have ever imagined. Her father was not the man her mother had led her to believe, but rather Soma is the product of a forbidden affair, a secret buried deep within the tangled web of their family's history. One day, while Soma's mother was busy preparing jollof rice and spicy chicken, and her siblings were laughing and playing games together in the sitting room, they heard the doorbell ring. Soma hurried to answer it, curious to see who could be at the door. To her surprise, it was her sugar daddy, Mr. Bank, who had arrived unexpectedly. He entered the house unaware that Soma's families were inside enjoying their time together. The atmosphere buzzed with a mix of excitement and uncertainty as Soma introduced Mr. Bank to her family as her man friend. Soma's mother gasped in disbelief when she saw the man standing before her and her children, a man from her past whom she had prayed never to encounter again. Her heart raced with a mixture of fear and uncertainty as she struggled to compose herself in front of her startled family. Soma's mother's heart raced in her chest as memories from long ago flooded her mind, a time when she had been young and deeply in love. "Bankorle," she whispered, her voice barely audible above the din of the room. "What are you doing here?" Mr. Bank's expression darkened as he took in the scene before him. He had not expected to encounter Ahda, least of all in Soma's home. Memories of their past relationship came flooding back, along with a sense of guilt and regret that he had long tried to bury. What are you doing here?" Mr. Banks stammered. Soma looked between them, sensing the tension in the air. She had never seen her mother react like this before, and she couldn't help but wonder what had transpired between them. Turning to her mother, she asked the question that had been burning in her mind since Mr. Banks' arrival. "Mama, how do you know Mr. Bank?" she asked, her voice tinged with confusion. Her mother hesitated, her eyes brimming with tears as she prepared to reveal the painful truth. Years ago, in the throes of passion and forbidden desire, Soma's mother had embarked on an affair with a Mr. Bank, who was already married then. In the heat of their illicit affair, Soma's mother had conceived her, a child born of secrecy, a fact that she had hidden from her daughter and family for fear of judgment and condemnation. Mr. Bank and Soma's mother's relationship came crashing down in a storm of heartbreak and betrayal when she revealed she was pregnant with his child, a truth he rejected due to his commitments to his wife and family. The revelation shattered the fragile relationship they had. Mr. Bank presented Soma's mother with a clear and decisive ultimatum. For their relationship to persist, she must terminate her pregnancy. However, Soma's mother intensely rejected his ultimatum, steadfast in her love for her unborn child. Despite hoping that Mr. Bank might reconsider over time, their paths crossed again several months later, only for him to deliver a crushing blow. He declared that he wanted nothing more to do with her because she had chosen to proceed with the pregnancy. Soma's mother desperately pleaded with Mr. Bank not to leave her, her heart heavy with anguish. However, he remained resolute in his stance, explaining that he couldn't entertain the idea of raising a child outside of his marriage. Despite her tearful appeals and hopes for a different outcome, Mr. Banks' decision to abandon her when she was pregnant with Soma when she needed him the most left Soma's mother struggling with deep sorrow and the painful reality of raising her child alone. It had been a painful time, one that she had never spoken of to her daughter. So, to shield Soma from the pain of rejection, her mother wove a tale of a deceased father, a lie that would unravel with devastating consequences. The lies she had told to protect her daughter from the pain of knowing the truth about her father. For Soma was not the product of a loving union, but rather the consequence of a scandalous affair that had rocked her mother's world to its core. Soma listened in stunned silence, her mind reeling at the revelation. Her sugar daddy was her biological father. It was a truth she had never expected, one that shook her to the core. And as Soma looked between her mother and Mr. Bank, pain and regret etched on her face. Mr. Banks found himself unable to remain standing and instead sat down, overwhelmed by the shocking revelation. He hung his head in shame, unable to meet the gaze of either Soma or her mother. The weight of his actions weighed heavily upon him. Tears streamed down his cheeks, mingling with a deep sense of shame and regret. Realizing that the daughter he had rejected and want nothing to do with years ago was Soma, and he had unknowingly been sexually involved with his own daughter. With a heavy heart, Mr. Bank walked out of the house he had gifted to Soma, leaving behind a trail of sorrow and shattered trust. As Soma's world crumbled around her, the weight of her regret bore down upon her like a crushing weight, threatening to suffocate her with its sheer magnitude. Tears streamed down her cheeks unchecked, each drop a testament to the pain and confusion that raged within her heart. Regret eats at her soul, consuming her with its relentless grip. She cursed herself for ever getting involved with Mr. Bank, for allowing herself to be seduced by the allure of a lavish lifestyle that had blinded her to the truth that had been staring her in the face all along. Her mother's heart ached with the weight of her own regret. knowing that she had failed her daughter in the worst possible way. She had kept the truth from Soma, shielded Soma from the pain of rejection that had haunted her own past. But now, as she watched her daughter crumble before her, she wished with all her heart that she could turn back the hands of time and make things right. The news of Mr. Banks' true identity rocked their fragile family balance, tearing apart the facade of happiness they have. Soma's siblings were shocked by the unfolding drama. Their world suddenly turned upside down by the unexpected revelation. They struggled to comprehend the implications of this revelation, unsure how it would reshape their lives and relationships moving forward. Caught in the crossfire of Soma's present desires and her mother's past, Soma struggled with a sense of betrayal that cut deeper than any designer label could mend or satisfy. The luxurious lifestyle Soma had once coveted now felt tainted by the stain of deceit, a bitter reminder of the price she had paid for her forbidden indulgence. However, even in the midst of Soma's despair, a glimmer of understanding began to dawn within her. Soma realized that her mother's secret, one that she had kept hidden out of a misguided sense of protection, had destroyed her life. If only Soma had known the truth about her father, maybe things could have been different. Maybe she could have made different choices, chosen a different path. Soma's anger towards her mother was profound and intense upon learning the truth. She couldn't help but blame herself for desiring a lifestyle influenced by a sugar daddy. Regret weighed heavily on her as she reflected on leaving her hard-earned, respectable job for the allure of fleeting pleasures and extravagant lifestyles. For days on end, Soma secluded herself in her room, refusing to speak to anyone as she grappled with the painful emotions swirling within her. However, with time and introspection, Soma found it in her heart to forgive her mother. In that moment of shared pain and regret, mother and daughter found solace in each other's embrace despite their mistakes. Words were unnecessary as they clung to each other, their tears mingling in a silent symphony of sorrow and regret. When Soma's friends learned that her sugar daddy was actually her biological father, their reactions varied widely. Some laughed, mocking her for what they perceived as her own doing, saying it served her right for flaunting her lifestyle. Others felt sympathy for her, understanding the unexpected predicament Soma found herself in. Soma's bitter experience had a profound impact on some of her friends. Some chose to end their relationships with their sugar daddies, realizing the risks involved. However, others continued with their lavish lifestyles, seemingly unconcerned about the potential consequences. Though Soma acknowledged Mr. Bank as her biological father, she harbored no desire to establish a relationship with him or to embrace him as a father figure. On his part, Mr. Bank showed little enthusiasm for being a paternal presence in Soma's life. The weight of their shared past proved too heavy for Soma and Mr. Bank to bear, leaving the both of them unable to come to terms with the complexity of their relationship. The burden of shame and heartache became overwhelming for Soma. Faced with the daunting task of confronting their tangled history, she made a pivotal decision. Determined to break free from the painful memories that haunted her, she chose to liquidate her properties and relocate with her family to another city. This move symbolized not just a change of scenery, but a profound quest for renewal and distance from the shadows of her shameful past. Though the process was painful, Soma knew it was necessary for her emotional recovery and the chance at a better future. Several months later, settling into her new life in the city, Soma successfully secured a position with a highly regarded company. This career achievement marked the beginning of a fresh chapter for Soma, filled with both anticipation and cautious optimism. As she navigated this new phase of her life, Soma carried with her a hard-earned understanding that healing from deep-seated wounds demanded patience, self-reflection, and inner resilience. The journey had taught her that some scars required time and space to mend, yet it also instilled in her a sense of empowerment derived from making choices aligned with her own values and aspirations. With each day at her new job, Soma embraced the opportunity to redefine her path and shape her future. She found solace in the stability of her career and the supportive environment of her new surroundings, gradually rebuilding her sense of trust and confidence. Through perseverance and determination, Soma discovered that the strength to overcome adversity lay within her, paving the way for a promising and self-directed journey ahead. This story highlights a profound lesson about the consequences of chasing material wealth at any cost and the dangers of sacrificing personal values and integrity for superficial pleasures and societal status. It is important to stay true to oneself and find fulfillment through hard work, self-respect, and genuine relationships, rather than through material possessions or relationships built on financial dependence.